All right. I found out long ago. It's a long way down Holiday Road. How's it going, old schoolers? You are kicking it old school with Russell J.S., and I am your host, Russell J.S. I am making a video right now. As you know, I had told you in a video previously that I am taking you on a mystery ride of old school proportions in August. And one of the things is what this video is about. This is a remake. This is part 2 of a video trilogy I'm putting together. You remember last year on Labor Day when I went ahead and I made that video, 80s style vacation? Well, I wasn't too happy with it. So I decided when the summer was about ready to begin, not only was I going to redo that video, but I was going to do a trilogy, of, baby boomers and the generation gappers between, Gen Xers and the generation gappers between the baby boomers and the Gen Xers. What I want to do is I want to show you how I'm going to pack a carry-on bag on the airplane, 80s style. Imagine if we want to take a trip and we want to reminisce on those embarrassing forced family fun vacations we got dragged along with by our folks. What would we want to bring with all the technology that came out in the previous decades? And I'm talking like around the late 90s till, say, the late 2010s. Well, we're going to check out some bad Oscars. You're going to need some DVDs of your favorite movies of the 80s, your favorite music. If you haven't given that stuff up yet to like the thrift stores or anything, go ahead and get out that box of DVDs and CDs that's out in the garage, dust them off, get yourself a portable Blu-ray player, like at Best Buy or Walmart or Target, wherever you can find them. And some stuff, if you don't have it anymore, you're going to have to go on eBay. You're going to have to go look through the thrift stores. But without further ado, let's get this video going, shall we? You're going to have to excuse my hyperness. I am hopped up on caffeine. Just coffee and a Monster Energy. And also, happy Memorial Day to you. Yep. So, like I said, I'm taking you on a mystery ride toward the tail end of summer in August. And it's going to be somewhere in Florida. You don't know where I'm taking you. I could be taking you to South Beach, Miami. I could take you to Daytona Beach, Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal Studios, Busch Gardens. Who knows? But if you're taking a plane anywhere this summer and you want to do everything 80s style, well, what I'm going to tell you, like I said before, and if you're new to the channel, please hit a like, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below, and ring the bell for future notifications. Now, first thing when you get on board the airplane, you want to get a pair of sneakers that are laceless, because the reason being for that is it is a pain to take them off and put them back on when you have to go through security. And also, as you see, I got a new hip sack, or if you want to call it a fanny pack, go ahead. I got a new fanny pack, new hip sack. This is for my travel, while that one's for work. Same thing with the other backpack. And I got a new backpack, which I'm already customizing old school style, as you could see. Look at that. The old school Universal Studios Florida Ghostbusters button. The 1989 Tim Burton Batman movie button with Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson. And in here, in this compartment, I already have stowed away my portable CD player and all the attachments I'm going to need for the Blu-ray player. And in here, I already got the Blu-ray player. That's right there safely in that compartment. Now, another thing I want you to bring is literature. A book or a magazine. Right here, you see I got a book. There we go. And maybe a magazine or two. So we're going to go ahead and put those in there. Okay, the book and the magazines are safely secure with the portable Blu-ray player. And that has a battery, a rechargeable battery. Make sure it's charged before you go. And of course, music. Music has always been a cornerstone right next to movies with my life. And since this is 80s, here's a selection of music I picked for this occasion. As you can see, we got a few soundtrack albums for Back to the Future, Batman, Heavy Wedding Singer, Heavy Metal, Ghostbusters and the Blues Brothers, and regular music I decided on the Cars Complete Greatest Hits, a compilation of 80s rock music called Rock of the 80s, the Platinum Edition of Monster Ballads, Sammy Hagar Unboxed All Greatest Hits albums. And I decided to go ahead, like in the 70s, I'm going to bring Cheap Trick because they did become iconic they came out of the 70s, but they became iconic in the 80s. ZZ Top, The Baddest, Van Halen, Best of, Volume 1, Robert Plant, Digging Deep, Subterranea, which is a 2-disc Best of compilation, Journey's Greatest Hits, the Best of Lita Ford, Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers' Greatest Hits, Styx Icon, and Bruce Springsteen's Greatest Hits. Now you look at this stack of CDs here, and you'd probably say to yourself, how is he going to fit that in the backpack? Well, have no fear. Russell J.S. has a solution here. My old CD wallet that I've had for 30 years, as you could see, let me show you, it's going to have everything. Yeah, you see, I'm holding my phone as I do this. See, here you go. You got the Cars Greatest Hits, Cheap Trick Greatest Hits. All the CDs that I mentioned are all here. All 80s, late 70s to 80s rock, movie soundtracks. I want to do this instead of streaming music on a tablet or or any kind of electronic device, because to me it's more fun. Because, it's fun to own something, if that makes sense. You say you worked hard for something, and that's why I do it. Whoop, backpack is falling over. And this is going to go right in here with the Blu-ray player, the book, and the magazines. And of course, movies have been a big cornerstone. I mean, when we think of the summertime, we think of the blockbusters that were coming out to the movies at the beginning of summer. Like, I can remember the summer of '89 with Batman, and everybody else was a sequel, like Ghostbusters 2, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, Lethal Weapon 2, Karate Kid Part 3, Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, Nightmare on Elm Street 5, The Dream Child, and of course, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. But as far as movies go, like 80s style, I've gone ahead and decided on what is it I would like to bring. I want to bring some blockbusters, but I also want to bring some somewhat, and the reason I say somewhat, family comedies and not so family comedies is because these comedies are going to represent anybody that can relate to anyone during summer, like summer jobs, summer camp, family vacations, weekend getaways, road trips, whatever have you. So the bad Oscars I decided to pick out here we go. First off, I want to start with the franchises. See, see these gift sets right here, like Ghostbusters 1 and 2. I'll put that right in there. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put the Star Wars original trilogy. Even though A New Hope came out in 1977, you still had Empire in 80 and Return of the Jedi in 83. So that'll go right in there. And we got the Back to the Future trilogy. Oh boy, that was a summer treat. I mean, one came out in 1989 and the other came out in 1990. The Complete Adventures of Indiana Jones. Yeah, sure, Crystal Skull is in this, but we still have Raiders, Doom, and Crusade. I'm going to put that right in there. And of course, Road Trippin', Smokey and the Bandit, the complete trilogy, because they did go cross country again in part 2 and 3. So no telling when it took place, but still. Now, here's the main stuff. Here's the main stuff that I'm bringing as far as movies, the comedies. I want to start out with a period film called Wet Hot American Summer. It is in the tradition of takes place in the summer of 1981 at a summer camp with a bunch of camp counselors that get rowdy and raunchy. It's kind of like if you take Meatballs and add Dazed and Confused and Porky's to it, and then you have this. And it's a pretty good, funny movie, with Janine Garofalo and Molly Shannon and Paul Rudd. I suggest you pick this one up. That'll go in here. That'll go there. And, of course, Weekend at Bernie's. How can you have summer fun without not even a dead guy ruining it for you? Yup. And, of course, here's the main thing, because I am a huge fan of all these guys. I speak about, the days of working a summer job, Caddyshack. Can't get enough of Rodney Dangerfield, Bill Murray, or Chevy Chase. Great Outdoors with John Candy and Dan Aykroyd. I am also a huge Dan Aykroyd fan, and I love John Candy. God rest his soul, rest in peace. John Candy, Summer Rental, again. But the movie that started these kind of comedies in the tradition, like the forced, embarrassed family fun, it won't be a summer movie fest without a double feature of Chevy Chase and National Lampoon's Vacation and National Lampoon's European Vacation. So those are the movies. And now, for entertainment for the mind, I have gone ahead and gathered some of the handhelds that are very old school like, even though some of them are remakes and some of them are, newer. But I'm sure you can remember that time in the 80s, because I sure as heck do. I remember wanting to bring my Nintendo on the family vacations, and Mom and Dad would not let me. They said, oh, you're going to be outdoors, you're going to be doing this and that. And, recently I have seen that they started making handhelds, in the tradition of the Game & Watch series and, like the Game Boy and Game Gear. Like, I'm sure a lot of you early Gen Xers, I'm sure you guys wanted to bring your Ataris with you on those trips so you could plug them into the TV at the hotel and your mom and dad wouldn't let you. But you had to settle for some things. Well, I've got a solution. Right here, I've got my Atari 50th anniversary handheld, which contains various Atari games such as classics like Asteroids and Missile Command. I got this Tiger handheld pinball, which, pinball was still a great cornerstone. And I got another handheld pinball. This came out in 2005, but still it's pinball. I also went ahead and I've got Pac-Man and a triple feature of Galaga, Galaxian, and Exivus. And some others that I would suggest bringing. Yeah, the laboratory's a mess. Don't pay attention. Because look, you can't really bring that bad Oscar with you. I mean, you can bring that bad Oscar, and you can bring that bad Oscar, and that bad Oscar, and these bad Oscars, but they will end up in the suitcase. And that's no fun. So, what we got here is and some of which the reason behind the hip sack too, when you're on board the plane. I'm going to explain that. This Chinese imported, it's called SUP. This is really good to have. I mean, this is, it'll be almost like a Game Boy, but you have Nintendo. There's Nintendo games in here. You can go to English or Chinese. And you've got all the Donkey Kongs, and you got some Mario, and, even Nintendo's version of all the arcade classics like Elevator Action and, Joust. And the My Arcade handheld Pocket Player Space Invaders. And I'm also liking, this has been one of my favorites, this Star Wars pinball, because it looks like something out of the late 70s or early 80s. And of course, with electronic, you could go on eBay and find the old school style Nintendo Game & Watch, or you could go and, get this off of Amazon or eBay, or wherever they sell newer stuff. And of course, you can't go without electronic football. Now, what 80s backseat adventures, were not fun without a Rubik's Cube. They were not fun. So now, there you have it. All right, now as you can see, the backpack is loaded with all we need for our entertainment while we're on board the flight. Now, also, you want to take some handhelds with you. You may want to take one or two and put them right here in the fanny pack, or the hip sack. I like to call it a hip sack. And then that's going to go with your wallet. And, that's where you also, one thing the least you'll have to worry about is taking off your shoes, your belt, and putting if you have a cell phone carrier on your hip, just put that through the metal detector thingy. And, that's the only thing you'll have to really worry about. But you see, while you're waiting to board the plane and you've gotten through checkout, you got some things to do. Now look at that. The backpack is all packed, ready to go. Your hip sack's got your wallet and has a couple handhelds. And now, all you got to worry about is just getting everything ready. Be sure to be ready to take off your belt and take off your shoes. And if you have the wallet in your back pocket, take your wallet out of your pocket. So that way you don't have to worry about anything else. Other than that, you're good to go when you get on the airplane. And also I want to mention to you, so get ready. I'm not bluffing. I'm not joking. I am getting us ready for a road trip in August, right when the summer is just kind of waning down. I'm very excited about it. I couldn't be more excited. But yeah, it's going to happen, man. It's really going to happen. And it's going to be really fun. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I already know what it is. You'll just have to wait and see. Until then, just keep yourself in anticipation and keep ringing the bell for more videos to come, and leave comments in the box down below and give a thumbs up if you like the video. That's gonna do it for this video. And remember, like I said, when you're new to the channel, subscribe, leave comments in the box down below, hit the like button, thumbs up, and notification for future endeavors. At any rate, this is your old pal Russell J.S. wanting to wish you always Godspeed. Keep it chill, keep it fresh, keep it real. Listen to 70s, 80s, 90s hard rock and all whatever music you desire. And play some Atari, play some Nintendo, watch some classic 80s movies. And as always, Godspeed. May the force be with you always.